Hi my little art fam, welcome back to an artist journey series. In today's video we're going to be talking about perspective in an art world and how this is applied in the art world. So the actual definition of perspective is taking 3D objects on a 2D surface in a way that looks natural and realistic. Perspective can create an illusion of space and depth on a flat surface. So to break that definition down in a more simpler matter is that in order to create space is that you need to understand foreground, middle, and background, so that and that also affects scale too. So if let's just say, like for instance, actually go check that video out, and then you'll understand the actual definition of the perspective. And also in shading, so it says in the actual definition, it can create an illusion of space and depth. So in order to create depth, you need to understand how to shade. And so I would highly recommend you checking out how to shade in one of my videos that talks about shading. So now in order to really understand perspective is we're going to be looking at a painting that is called The Las Meninas by Diego Velázquez, if I pronounce his name correctly. And so we're going to be doing that in just a few moments. So I'm just going to be creating a simple diagram. If you want to look at the actual image, this is the name, and then this is the painter, the artist. So the best way that I can show you is by making a diagram of this painting. So here's what's really unique about this painting that Diego Velázquez made, is that no matter where you look at this painting, I would highly suggest you look at the original painting so you can understand what I'm talking about. I think I might show it in this video too somewhere. But what's cool about his painting is that because these are the focal points of his painting right here, that you can basically break it down into like different sections and it'll still look like it's a full painting. So I'll label some of the numbers that looks like a complete painting. So the foreground is the easel. This is the easel right here. And the dog. And number 6, which is this girl right here. And the middle ground, remember, this is actually relative, because that's what perspective is all about. Perspective is relative. That's what it means, is relative. So the middle ground, without breaking the painting apart, is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, it's relative. And then the background is 8, 9, 10, and 11. So these numbers right here are the different perspectives. And hopefully you can like see what I'm talking about. So like if we do 1, 2, 3, and 8, this is 1, 2, 3, and 8 right here. That could be one painting. And also to understand too is like actually look up the painting and then take a screenshot of it and crop it to these numbers right here, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. And also 2, 3, and 8 can also be another painting, is what I'm saying. And then 2, 3, 4, 8, 9 could be another painting right around here. And hopefully you can understand what I'm going at right here, is that no matter where you crop the image of the painting, that it still feels like it's a full painting, because you have 2 different focal points, and because each of the people, the way that they're placed. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the middle ground, but it's relative depending on the perspective. Because if, let's just say that if you crop the image to 2, 3, 4, and 8, or let's just say like you crop it like that, then the foreground would be number 3, and then 2 would be the middle ground, and then 2 and 4 would be probably middle ground, and then 8 would be the background. But depending on where you crop the image, the foreground changes and the middle ground changes, and also the background stays relatively the same depending on where you crop it. And the reason why I'm showing you this painting diagram is because, even though perspective, it requires you to change the object that's in front of you into different positions and changing the distance of that object, that is also another way to understand perspective. But perspective is just more than just taking an object and then changing the angle around it and changing the distance and all that. Like, it just, perspective can be in this matter too, because if this was just an entire painting right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, it changes the whole meaning of the painting, because that's what perspective is all about. When you change a certain aspect of any drawing or any painting or any object that you're trying to draw, it changes the perspective, and therefore it changes the whole story of the painting. So now, if let's just say like this was the painting that I just traced, then we wouldn't have these people right around here. It'll just look like maybe like the father or whoever is painting. It'll look like this is the father with the 2 daughters right here. You know what I mean? As opposed to like if, for instance, if this was also included right here in this diagram, it just looks like a family gathering. So that's the perspective that I was trying to teach you in this video, and not just teaching you just different positions and of the the 3D objects, because that requires more than just understanding. Like, for instance, like if I take this highlighter and change the perspective to like maybe like this, that is not how do you understand perspective, but understanding perspective and how it changes, it can also change the meaning of the artwork. So that's why I showed you this this diagram. I highly recommend you looking at the original painting and take a screenshot of this diagram right here, and you'll understand the sections that I told you to crop out. So but that's all I have for you today, my little art fam. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment down below if this video was helpful for you. Make sure you turn on notifications so that way you won't miss my next upload, which is Monday. Bye, my little art fam.